Hello and welcome back. Yes, the hedge trimmer is out. I am having one of those days where I have zero motivation, absolutely zero motivation, even though it is utterly glorious. Look at that. And today the wind has actually died down. The last sort of 2 days we've had beautiful blue skies, but the wind has just literally been blowing a gale, and it's almost been like that Arctic wind. It's been so like just bitter cold, which I'm not a huge fan of. But yes, the wind has died down today, which means it is a good day for me to be getting out into the cottage garden. But I've just woken up this morning and I just have zero motivation. But the weeks are very, very quickly getting away from me, and I don't want to miss my window of opportunity to get some of these plants pruned back before spring. Gosh, look how busy they are. So, when I have days like that, where I feel very unmotivated, what I tend to do is, number one, get into the appropriate gear. So I am wearing a gardening appropriate outfit today for some serious gardening. For example, if you are lacking motivation to go to the gym, get your gym kit on. The other thing that I like to do is buddy up. So I've got Mum here with us today, and she is going to be keeping me honest and keeping me motivated to get some pruning done. So you'll see her shortly in the video. So definitely buddy up. It keeps you just on track and kind of keeps you accountable. I've also got you, so you're definitely keeping me accountable today as well. And then the third thing I like to do is kind of just go to where I need to be. So I'm out here in the cottage garden trying to like immerse myself in the vibes in the hope that motivation will come. And then the fourth thing that I like to do is basically just lie to myself. So what I have said, what I've convinced myself of this morning is that I'm just going to come out here and I'm just going to do one. I'm going to tackle the Malaysian orchid. I have 2 of them. I've told myself what my goal is for the cottage garden today is to just do one. I am secretly hoping that motivation, once I get going, will strike and I'll kind of get into a bit of a roll with it, and then I'll be able to tackle the other one as well. So the plants that I'm wanting to prune back today are these ones here. So as I said, I have 2 of them. They are Malaysian orchids. Gosh, that sun is making it hard for you to see. They are gorgeous plants, but they just need a really hard prune back in winter. You cannot prune them back in summer. They will burn if you prune them back in summer. So yeah, I just don't want to miss. I've got a lot of pruning back to do, and not a lot of time to do it in before sort of the spring weather starts. So I'm keen to get into this today. As I have said, this is my goal. I just want to do one. Fingers crossed, motivation will come, and I will also do the second one. But this is going to get pruned back very, very low, because once I've pruned it back, it will obviously flush back out with new growth in spring and it will grow up again. And so I need to take it pretty far down so that in summer, I'm not having to prune it back because I can't prune it back, etc. You get what I'm trying to say. So it is going to have quite the haircut today, and I'm sure it's going to look pretty sad because a lot of the growth and the sort of little flowers that it has, like the sort of berry-like flowers, if I just come down here, you can kind of see it has these very gorgeous hanging sort of like berry blooms on them, all sort of throughout. They all kind of amass here on the top. So once I prune it back, I think it's basically going to go back to bare sticks. So it will look a little bit sad for quite a few weeks, I imagine. And then in spring, it will bloom back out, which will be very pretty. But yes, so that is the goal for today. enjoy some of this gorgeous sunshine and get into my pruning jobs. We'll definitely be doing a lot of pruning together over sort of the next few weeks. As I said, I've got a lot of pruning that needs to be done before spring, but I'm hoping to try and tackle the 2 Malaysian orchids today. The other little thing, I wanted to show you the utter devastation that has befallen my navel orange tree. I will show you that. Let's do that now, actually. Let's do that now. Look at this. Look at the horror. So, a little creature, I'm assuming a possum, they didn't even pull it off of the actual tree. This orange was actually still on the tree, and they, I guess, sort of sat back on their back legs, reached up, and then ate it. I mean, look at the bite of that. This is a very large orange. Look. Oh. I actually had a few navel oranges on the tree, so I have been able to save the other ones, and I've taken them inside. But yes, my goodness, it must have been. Normally, the citrus don't really get bothered by possums and that because the skin is so thick. But yes, this little possum or creature, whatever it was, must have been very, very hungry to start eating the oranges. Yes, I was just devastated. I went out and, had a look at the navel orange, and just to see it still on the plant, you sort of see this side of it and think, oh yeah, like it's going okay. But then to turn it around and see that it has been munched on. But I have saved the other ones, so that is a positive. Also, while we're in this area of the garden, I thought I'd give you a little update. So I've got a trailing violet in this planter statue here. That is fairly new, and everything has had quite a good prune back through here. So all of these trees here have all sort of, the vines and that have all been pruned back. So it's all looking lovely down this end. And so now it's basically sort of moving into the back garden area, and then once I've pruned everything back there, I will then move around to the other side and we'll start kind of tackling that area. But I thought while we're out here, I would also quickly show you how the pineapple is going. So far, so good. We planted this together a few weeks ago now. I'm sort of not game yet to check if roots have started, but it seems okay in there. And even the lace hydrangea cuttings, which are these ones here that I planted, this one's a little bit sad, but this one's doing really well. So that would be brilliant if I could propagate from cuttings of the lace hydrangea. But yeah, the pineapple is looking really good. All right, so I'm not going to procrastinate anymore. I've only got about maybe half an hour tops to get this done. Yes, I do have my towels out on the line. So this is the other Malaysian orchid. If I'm feeling it, I will also tackle this one, but just to kind of give you a better sort of angle without the sun sort of glaring down. That is what they look like, and I'm going to be taking it way down. So Mum is going to help me, so you will no doubt see her in the clips, but that's this one here, and then this one here is the second one. So I'm going to maybe prop you up over this angle. I think you'll get a better shot without the sunlight glaring. I mean, you can see like they just get so big that they start to swamp out the other plants. They are very pretty, and I do love having them in the garden, and they do so well in this spot. It's quite a difficult garden bed to plant in because of the sunlight situation. Birdies. So yeah, I'm going to set you up somewhere and let's get the electric hedge trimmer out and let's get going with this. But as I said, this is definitely the before, and then you'll see the after is going to look a little bit sad, I think. All right, I'm going to start with this one here. First things first, we have identified where the sprinkler system is because we do not want to accidentally cut that off while I am pruning back. And yeah, I'm probably just going to pop you on a time lapse while I get this done, but you're definitely going to see it sort of, yeah, reduce right down. Right, so you saw the before, this is the after. As you can see, it had quite a significant prune back. We really just tried to get as many of those crossing branches out of the way as possible and tried to keep as much of the sort of healthy looking branches and that. So hopefully in spring, when it flushes back out with new leaves and new growth and that, it will kind of grow back a bit healthier. There'll be better airflow, better circulation throughout it, because it had gotten quite unruly over the years. So it does always look a little bit sad, and this whole little corner now looks completely bare without it being there, because obviously it was massive. But yeah, I think it will be very happy with that. And obviously, as always with these sorts of things, fingers crossed that it grows back. We are in the middle of winter now, so it's a good time to try and do this while it's, you know, not going to be super stressed, and it's fairly dormant. So anyway, that's pretty much one done. Obviously, we need to clean up and do all of that, but while I'm still fairly motivated, I'm going to move to the next one and start kind of doing a bit of a prune back. And again, we'll take it sort of similar to this height, quite low down, in the hope of increasing that air circulation and just in the long run having a happier and healthier plant. And just to quickly explain, what I'm doing first is using the electric hedge trimmer, basically just to sort of take all the soft kind of leaves and blooms off the top where I can, and then kind of going in with the next sort of level of pruner and kind of snipping back any of the smaller branches. And then I've got out quite the heavy duty one for the sort of thicker branches. So yeah, I'm going to continue on this side now, as I said, kind of just taking off the soft sort of growth at the top, and obviously being very, very careful of the sprinkler head that is just through there. Yeah, we don't want to accidentally cut that. It has happened before, which is why we're very, very onto making sure we look out for those sorts of things. So I'm just going to start on this side now with the electric hedge trimmer, and then I will come back and we'll start trying to cut out some of those sort of larger branches. Just to give you a close-up of one of these hanging sort of flowers that they have. Isn't that gorgeous? With the berries, but they're a type of flower, like the bloom of these. And also just to show you inside. So you can see in here, it is just an absolute crisscross of branches. And so the airflow is not always the best. So that's why we're doing the really hard prune back today. As I said, the plants are pretty much dormant now, and it's definitely going to help the plants on either side. This is the crepe myrtle here. Definitely we'll be tackling the crepe myrtle probably next. But yeah, so I've sort of taken off that top layer of sort of soft foliage, and now I'm going to kind of get in there with the larger hedge trimmers and try and take out a bit more of the weight before I get the sort of branch trimmers, and we try and get rid of some of that crisscrossing and hopefully improve the air circulation and the growth of the plant for the future. So that is the aftermath. Again, we've just tried to do the same thing. We've tried to take out any branches that are really heavily crossing over and just trying to open up so that once the canopy kind of comes back in, it won't be so tight and then we'll get some airflow and that through it. But it's always looking very, very sad at this point. But again, fingers crossed. I mean, that's all you can really do, is just to hope that it is happier when it grows back in spring, and then obviously it will grow back in spring. But you can already see like these ones over here have really been impacted by the size of it. So hopefully they will be a little bit happier, and all of these along here have also been impacted. All of this also needs a really hard prune back, but maybe not for today. I'd say that is going to be it for today. We've got no more room in the green bin, so this, I mean, we may not even fit all of this sort of, all the cuttings in the bin as it is, so they might have to wait for another fortnight to get all of that in. But that is a very good job to have ticked off. But yeah, lots more pruning to go. It has actually been a few hours since I spoke to you last. But I thought I would come out and show you sort of later in the afternoon when the sun isn't so much on this bed, just so you could sort of see it a little bit better. It looks so strange to me not having that huge plant there. It was to the point where it kind of came over the path, and so you sort of got used to having to almost walk around it. So very, very strange. But I'm really hopeful that it's going to be much happier in spring. So that one is looking great. And then I might just come down here quickly and show you this one. Definitely need to get the leaf blower out as well as the gurney and just tidy up some of these concrete pathways. That is looking so much better. It's got quite a spread to the actual plant itself, so you can see obviously that it filled in this entire space here. And really, I mean, hopefully you can, that comes across on camera, you can see like the dint down through there where it's encroached in the other plants. So they'll have a few months now to kind of fluff back out before the new growth kind of starts to encroach again, and I'll just have to really try and keep on top of it. As I said earlier, it is quite difficult because it is such a it's a plant prone to burning in summer, and because we get such hot summers here, these Malaysian orchids, while stunningly beautiful, you just have to be very careful. I know I have made the mistake before of pruning it back in the summer, hoping to reduce the height of it, and it's just burnt the plant. And yes, it was quite traumatized after that, so I learnt my lesson. So yes, it's going to be a few months of very bare patches in this cottage garden bed. As I said earlier, kind of next on the hit list are these crepe myrtles. They've dropped all of their leaves now. There's just a few little berries left. But they can use a very good prune back prior to spring. And then I also want to get out into these ones here and kind of just shape them. You can actually almost shape these ones into like little balls and that. So I do want to get in and just shape these ones again, reduce the height a little bit, but then shape them in. I think that will look lovely. We've just had such an exceptional day today weather-wise. I think I said to you earlier, the wind the last couple of days, while we've had beautiful blue skies, the wind has just, it comes off. We get sort of like southwesterly winds, and it comes off, and Arctic winds. It's freezing cold, but everything is just looking so gorgeous at this time of year. Like, look at the color on this one. Isn't that so pretty? This one and this one have been recently transplanted, but they're looking okay. All the roses in this little corner here are also doing really well. I've got a little bit of deadheading to do here, but I might tackle that tomorrow. And as you would have seen, my productivity hacks worked. I managed to get both of them done. It did actually unfortunately take me a little bit longer than what I was hoping it was going to, but with Mum's help we got it all done in a reasonable time frame. Oh, it's going to take a little while to get used to having that big space there. Dogs of the neighbourhood barking, the birds are twittering. This all probably needs a bit of a prune back as well. I think I said to you recently that the wisteria hadn't started to lose her leaves. Well, with these very, very cold temperatures, I mean, we've been getting like 4 degrees at night time, which is just, yeah, very cold for us. She has started, her leaves have got a little bit crunchy there, and she has started to drop. And then just sort of showing you this other, I think I showed you maybe in the garden tour video that this had all been sort of that Malaysian orchid had been underplanted here. So these will get a chance, while this has been pruned back, these will get a chance to hopefully flush out in this space. But yeah, goodness, I mean, look at this one here. The poor little plant has just been squished with that orchid. Such a gorgeous, this golden hour time in the garden. It's always so pretty. And I think I did, yes I did, I shared with you earlier the devastation to my navel oranges. Oh, so sad. So I've managed to save a few of the oranges, but you can see on there that they are starting to flower, which I thought was a bit early, but maybe it's not. The tails of my pumpkin are ongoing. So far, it doesn't look like any of the actual pumpkins have taken. They've all kind of just dropped off, like the vine has just rejected all of them. But I've got so many on there now, so I am hopeful at least one, like, I mean, I won't point them all out. There's tons. Oh, I wonder if you can see that. Can you see that in the sky here? That's the moon. The moon is already out. I mean, God, look at those skies. But yeah, that's the moon there. But the pumpkin is, yeah, doing well, and its flowers are definitely opening sort of every day now, so hopeful. Everything in the kitchen garden is doing well. Tomatoes have all been bagged. You can see some of these end ones here with that cold. They've just struggled a little bit. Longevity spinach bouncing back after I keep pruning it. Leeks. Little broccoli is doing well. Everything's looking lovely. Really happy with how the garden is looking. Just, yeah, I need to motivate myself to just get out here and get all this pruning done. I just don't want to miss that window. All of a sudden, you know, you just blink and it will be spring before I know it, and I will have missed the window if I wait for sort of, you know, proper motivation to strike. Blueberries are still going well. Again, hopefully I might get a few little blueberries from this bush. And oh, look at this climbing spinach. How well is that doing? I did have some trouble with like caterpillars or grasshoppers, but that seems, again, with this cold weather, I'd say, that seems to have sorted itself. The rocket here, which I think is also known as arugula, but I call it rocket. The rocket here is doing really well. Even the beans seem to be doing okay. They've got all new little shoots coming through. Snack capsicums also doing well. Lemon balm, the sage. Yeah, everything is looking very good. I'm so happy. It brings me so much joy. So much joy to be able to just walk around this garden space and just enjoy it, you know, like just, you know, I know it's so cliched, but listening to the birds and listening to, you know, the trees and the plants rustling in the wind, and, you know, even on cloudy days, I mean, today we've got a spectacular day, and obviously it's extra special, but even on cloudy, rainy days, it's, yeah, something I am always very grateful for, that I have this space. Anywho, after this little impromptu garden tour, I'm going to bring this video to a close. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it and you're liking this sort of content, please like and subscribe. It means the absolute most to me when you do. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.